Lumi has a secret. He lives in a parallel world. Whenever life becomes stressful, his mind naturally drifts into an imaginary world where everything feels better. He spends hours each day imagining scenarios in which he is a rich, famous celebrity. Sometimes he lives inside the world of a movie he loves. One night he imagines himself as a Marvel superhero. Another night he becomes Spider-Man and wants to save the world. Lumi's story might sound unusual, but in many ways it begins with something all of us have experienced. Have you ever caught yourself staring out of a window, completely lost in thought? Before you know it, several hours have passed. We've all daydreamed. It's a normal part of being human. But what happens when those daydreams become so vivid, so comforting, and so absorbing that they begin to replace real life? That's where maladaptive daydreaming comes in. Lumi puts on the same song. He starts walking around his room. 10 seconds later, he's the captain of a football team scoring the winning goal in the World Cup. Imagine having an entire universe inside your mind. Not just random thoughts, but detailed stories with recurring characters, emotional plot twists, and entire worlds that continue from one day to the next. Imagine spending hours there, not because you want to waste time, but because it's almost impossible to pull yourself away. For people with maladaptive daydreaming, this isn't simply having a good imagination. It's an experience that can quietly take over daily life. The fantasies can feel exciting, comforting, or even more fulfilling than reality itself. In these imagined worlds, Lumi is free to become whoever he wants to be. Maybe he's the hero everyone admires, a football player winning the World Cup, a musician performing on stage, or simply someone who feels completely understood. Who wouldn't want to visit a place like that? The problem isn't the imagination itself. The problem is when it becomes so absorbing that work gets postponed, homework goes unfinished, relationships become harder to maintain, and hours disappear without you even noticing. Many people with maladaptive daydreaming don't just sit quietly while imagining. Lumi may pace around the room, listen to music, or repeat certain movements that make the stories feel even more immersive, like jumping or pretending to shoot a football ball around the room. Sometimes a single song can instantly transport him back into his fictional world. And despite how enjoyable these fantasies may be, there's often a frustrating reality. They know the stories aren't real. That's an important point. People with maladaptive daydreaming aren't confused about what's real and what's imaginary. They understand the difference perfectly well. The challenge is that the imagined world feels so emotionally rewarding that leaving it can be incredibly difficult. So why does this happen? Researchers are still trying to answer that question. For many people, maladaptive daydreaming begins during childhood or adolescence. It may develop as a way of coping with loneliness, anxiety, stress, trauma, or difficult emotions. Think about it for a moment. If reality feels overwhelming, wouldn't a world where everything unfolds exactly the way you wish be tempting? It happened to Lumi. Over time, though, the escape can become a habit. And like many habits, it becomes harder to control the more often it's repeated. Whenever Lumi feels bored, stressed, or rejected, he starts daydreaming. Although maladaptive daydreaming isn't currently recognized as its own diagnosis in major psychiatric manuals, researchers are paying increasing attention to it. Studies suggest it can occur alongside conditions such as anxiety, depression, obsessive-compulsive disorder, or ADHD, while remaining a distinct experience of its own. One reason it often goes unnoticed is that many people never talk about it. They worry they'll be misunderstood, but the truth is, many people experiencing maladaptive daydreaming ask themselves the same question every day. Why can't I just stop? The good news is that support is available. Mental health professionals can help people understand what may be driving the urge to daydream and develop healthier ways of coping. Techniques such as cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness, stress management, and treatment for related mental health conditions have helped many people regain balance. And notice, the goal isn't to stop imagining altogether, just step by step. After all, imagination is one of humanity's greatest strengths. It gives us stories, inventions, music, art and ideas that shape the world. The goal isn't to lose that creativity, it's to make sure imagination enriches life instead of replacing it. So the next time you find yourself drifting into a daydream, remember there's nothing unusual about imagining a different world for a few moments. But if those imagined worlds begin taking more time than the real one, it may be worth paying attention. Because while our minds can create incredible stories, the most important story we're writing is the one we're living every single day. Maybe Lumi's imagination will always be a part of him. And that's okay. The goal isn't to stop dreaming, it's to make sure he spends just as much time building his real life as he does his imaginary one. Every imaginary life feels perfect, but none of them can hug your family, none of them can build your career, none of them can change your future. Only the real one can. If you are a daydreamer like Lumi, write your journeys in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.